Hello everyone, welcome to another week of the Geoguessr Reddit League here on YouTube. I am Zatomo and I'm joined today by Calamity. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Great as always. We have a great matchup with you featuring today, Calamity against
Mm.
MTheBassman from Division 3. As we're getting ever closer to the end of the regular season for you guys. Quite the matchup we have. MTheBassman in second, but you a close third behind.
Yeah, it's there's a bit of a gap right now at the moment after week 8. I think it's 5 points. I'm the basement with 6 wins and an extra point for his loss, and me with 4 wins and two extra points for two of the three losses. But you so yeah, I'd really like a win there to close the gap. The rest of the stats are all relatively close. I've got the slight advantage in terms of average points and kilometers, bit more aces, but MTheBassman has the better best game. And yeah, form a lot of wins there. I lost my last game to Fios, as you may have seen in our coverage.
Yeah, so you'll definitely be looking to bounce back from that loss here on a world map, as we'll take a look at that. Worldwide, created by Worldwide Explorer with an average score of 14,829. It's been played a tad over 1,000 times with over 10,000 locations. Yeah, on a world map, Calamity, do you fancy yourself against MTheBassman, or is it going to be pretty close as the stats show?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty close either way. Depends a lot on the locations. On a world map, you'd usually expect relatively close to perfect scores from either competitor. So yeah, if you make a mistake, it might cost you a lot.
Yeah, so we'll see how many mistakes or how few mistakes you two make as we jump into this matchup. There we go. Did I see some French in the quick glance of?
Yeah, you did see some French, and well, apparently you didn't see. It said Swisscom, so
Oh, okay.
pretty clearly Switzerland from the start.
Okay. Yeah, MTheBassman is new to recording videos, so his recapture's a little bit skewed off the screen. So we'll do our best to keep you up to date on his score along the way, but shouldn't be too problematic.
Yeah, we've got a random mountain road in Switzerland. Those can be quite annoying because they sometimes go very, very far up the mountain, and you might
Mm.
not find a lot on your way down.
Yeah, and for someone like me who's not the best clicker in GeoGuessr, those windy roads can often cause me some problems as I click back up the road and I lose track of which way I was actually going and that kind of thing. So something to be careful of on windy roads in the mountains. Make sure
Mm,
you actually continue to move forward.
yeah, there's a sign there on my screen for La Dole and La Barriette, I think it was. At this point, I couldn't tell what that was exactly, if it was like small towns somewhere or something else. Because usually on mountains like this in Switzerland, I assume, because in Austria it is like that, you get a lot of signs for just random stuff like huts on the mountain somewhere,
Yeah.
or just generally mountain names or things like that.
Indeed.
And they've
You,
placed those signs everywhere, as you can see there. There's another one.
yeah. Have you been to Switzerland much?
I don't think I've been to Switzerland at all. No.
Oh, interesting. Where you have been in the world is quite interesting because you have not been to neighboring countries,
Yeah,
but then you've been like to America and whatnot. So it's like in Canada. So
yeah. I've pretty much until about 2 or 3 years ago, I hadn't been to a single neighboring country of Austria. And then I went to Italy, so I've got one now.
yeah, it's MTheBassman. They're also seeing that sign again
Mm,
and again, but not too helpful.
yeah, I'm finally making it to somewhere where there's a couple of houses at least, but still not really in a town.
Yeah, he does see a car in the basement, and it does confirm there's a European license plate. But
Uh, there shouldn't be a European license plate in Switzerland.
Oh, maybe, I mean, it's blurred out. It had the general shape, long, narrow,
Yeah,
and with a blue strip on the side.
a license plate shape.
Yeah, well, a European license plate shape
Mm.
compared to
Yeah, maybe
certainly America or Japan. So
it was a foreign car because, as you will see in 45 seconds, we're relatively close to the border.
That's true.
And I'm pretty much, I mean, we know right now we're in the French part of Switzerland. So I'm just looking for mountainous roads there somewhere. And you can actually see La Dole there to the west of where my marker is right now. I didn't, which is why I unfortunately do, place my marker here.
Oh, are you going to click with only a few seconds left?
Yep.
MTheBassman isn't appearing to know quite where he is either. He's actually in the wrong country right now, but see if he corrects that.
He's closer than me, though, unfortunately.
So yes, you do click too far off. You moved your marker at the last bit, so 4,727 points for you. And as he finishes, he is closer, even though he is not in Switzerland, with 4,911 points. So about 200-point gap opening up after round one.
Yeah,
So,
that was really annoying. That I've thought La Dole was probably something like a small town or something, so I didn't look for mountain names, and that's why I didn't see it when scrolling over it in the map. And then I had my marker like 2 kilometers or something from the right place, and then moved it away, of course, because well, of course I did.
Yeah, it happens. But I mean, MTheBassman didn't really have much more to go off of for his round. He just pretty much got lucky in the sense that he picked a region that he seemed to be in the mountains that had some French and wasn't even in the right country, just closer to the spot. So yeah, we get into round two here. If the videos will play, there we go. A lovely lakeside or seaside location.
Some English there and some Gen 1 camera.
Yeah, it looks more like America. Definitely America. So American signs. So lots of lakes in America, not a whole lot to go off of. Oh, it's a beach, actually. Well, a beach can be on a lake,
Yeah,
I guess.
So you don't know the locations of these. So take a guess. Where do you think we are?
If I had to take a guess, we're... if I had to take a guess right away, I would say probably we are in... Well, I've seen lots of national park looking signs, so we're on some kind of park, and probably East Coast or Great Lakes. I don't see enough evergreens to put us in the Pacific Northwest. So at least not right now.
That might help you.
Oh, Erie News. Yep, as you have it on your screen. We are Lake Erie for sure. And probably in Erie itself. In Pennsylvania. Some of the Pennsylvania seeds had a location similar to this.
Yeah, there were a couple of locations around Erie.
So definitely maybe some deja vu.
I don't think we've ever been in that. I mean, we definitely haven't been in that park in any of the actual seeds.
No, not in the actual park, but we were in... Well, pretty close to Erie, I believe, if I'm recalling correctly. So some of the road signs you might see or names you might run into might be familiar, even if the exact starting location is not. But you have made it out into town. MTheBassman, though, still struggling to figure out exactly how to get out of there. Seems to be wandering a little bit in circles.
There was actually a funny sign there. I didn't realize it right now. I didn't see it right now when watching it, but sometime like a minute or two ago on my screen, there was a sign that I passed that said wrong way. And I subconsciously probably took that as, yep, should probably turn around. And that was the right choice. As you can see on MTheBassman's screen, going north doesn't really get you any great information.
Yeah, continuing further up that peninsula is not going to reveal too much. So a bit of a unfortunate event for MTheBassman, moving in the wrong direction. He's not going to see too much. With about 40 seconds left.
Yeah, I was struggling a bit there as well with pinpointing the correct parking lot we started next to, because there's a lot of them around there, and not all of them I think are on the map.
Yeah, parking lots may not always be the best way to try to pinpoint your location. They can be quite... Oh, there's a nice sign for MTheBassman, though, if he knows where he is. That Insel, he doesn't. He's too far, but he's going to start slowly looking. He's got a few seconds left. He's not zoomed in close enough to see it. So it does look like you'll earn those points back with that ace. Very nice. 5,000 points for you, Calamity, and 4,429 points for MTheBassman. He did find the clues in the end, just didn't have enough time to actually find them on the map. To be fair, though, I think you did have the better information,
Yeah,
having traveled that direction. He just had a few names, and if he knew generally where he was, but he didn't have time to find them. So that'll hand you back the lead going into round number 3. So I should actually move the videos, huh? There we go. And you're close enough. There we go.
Middle of nowhere. Nice.
Middle of nowhere. Dirt road, lakes in winter.
We went opposite sides again.
Yeah.
I wonder if going north leads to a dead end. Kind of looks like it would. Yep, he went back to the start.
So, because he does go back to the start.
There's actually a funny sign here, right, where I'm looking at now. I think a bit, yeah, there. There's one sign here that says Austria. The left.
Oh, yeah, K9
both
Austria.
Of them, actually,
Yeah.
So I was a bit confused there at the start, because it does, I mean, it does look like something I could imagine being in Austria, somewhere on the eastern part of it.
Well, the other sign said made in Germany, so a bit of conflicting information.
The languages on the signs there that are here all say Hungary. Well, they don't say Hungary, but they're in Hungarian, so that clears up any confusion.
Yeah. And MTheBassman a little bit behind, but he will find his way out onto the main road, just like you did. You've got some city names, some very, very long city names that I won't even try to pronounce.
That's a useful sign. That would have helped me.
But MTheBassman, a very, very good sign. M7 E71. Lots of regional signs as well as the McDonald's.
Yeah, so. that sign alone should be good enough to tell you which city you're in. I was mostly struggling because as we've seen, I saw these Austrian signs, so I thought, well, we got to probably be close to the border at least, which we aren't, but I didn't know that.
Bit confusing. So you have seen some road numbers, and actually quite different road numbers, which is interesting for our viewers, that the direction can make quite a difference. Again, another one of those signs for MTheBassman.
Isn't that the same sign?
It might be just
looks like the same one.
Different zoom level. There was a pole right next to it. I didn't see a pole before, so I thought it maybe was the other side of it or something. But
just seen the town entrance sign for Geoguessr, which at this point should have told me, okay, yeah, I know where that is. But I was kind of like, I was kind of confused because I thought, still, as I said before, we're somewhere on the western part of Hungary. So I was just looking along the 8 road because I found that.
And MTheBassman will get that ace with his spot, so he'll try to close the gap back again. on you, Calamity, as you have about a minute
Mm,
left to search for this location. You keep following the road the whole way.
mm.
If you got 50 seconds, so you'll probably make it there in the end.
Yeah, I should. It's a pretty massive town. And I made it to Veszprem, and I was like, didn't find it. Oh, there it is.
Mm.
Yeah,
So now just working your way backwards to the starting location.
Yeah, pinpointing that is pretty easy. Because there's like these 4 massive lakes up there. Took me a while to realize that, but yeah. If you look at the starting location, it's pretty obvious. Then I just need to realize in the 10 seconds that I've still got left that that's not exactly where we are, but we're slightly further to the west. There we go.
Oh, with 1 second left, and now we have to watch Geoguessr Pro. For only $1.99, you too can have unlimited games of Google Street View, 100% ad-free.
That almost sounded like you were doing voice acting for my face cam. It fit really well.
Oh, did you actually like read it out?
I didn't. I was probably saying something completely different, but it looked so similar to what you were saying.
Oh, well, a last second adjustment gets you that ace, Calamity, making sure you don't lose any more points to MTheBassman, maintaining, I believe you're still in the lead.
Yep.
As we get into there. Yeah, that's a really interesting example of a location that seems very rural and empty, but then just a few clicks and you're right in the middle of a big town with lots of signs. So yeah, never underestimate your starting location. And you have to jump up a few seconds in the video here. And he doesn't because he's right on it. As we get into round number 4, 14,727 points for you. We can't really see MTheBassman.
I think he should be 300 points behind, roughly.
Yeah, I was about to say, should be 400 points or so down. Definitely doable.
Hotel Restaurant Torino, clearly in Italy. Yeah,
this is just the name.
This was a confusing round.
Yeah, a really interesting forest location with some very interesting signs.
And a dead end for me.
And a dead end.
Let's again see if you can figure out where we are.
I would say it's somewhere in Europe.
It's good.
Maybe
so
Eastern
far.
Europe.
Yeah.
It's about as far as I've gotten.
That's about as much as I knew at this point as well.
Yeah, but say the language is sort of maybe Slavic in relation, but that's about all I can really see. The sign that MTheBassman has doesn't help too much. Actually, maybe it's not even Slavic. It's definitely not Italian though. So he is looking across the river. Not across the river, across the sea.
It's a pretty big river you've got there.
Somewhere around, I don't think it's Greece though.
He's looking in Albania.
Oh, I can't really tell. Only the corner of his map is visible, and I saw some Greek writing on it. But yeah, Albania, Croatia, somewhere probably, and obviously some relation to Italy with a few of those references. But Croatia is one of those countries that always gets me a lot of times. Like, okay, we're in Eastern Europe somewhere, but sometimes the language doesn't look like I think it will look like, and the town doesn't look like I think Croatia should look like, and then I think Albania or Serbia or something, and then I get it wrong.
Yeah, Croatia is sort of a weird language that looks so similar to a couple of other Eastern European languages for me. Yeah. But Croatia usually has yellow signs for towns, so that's relatively easy to tell it apart. And at this point, it was slowly dawning on me that we might possibly be in Albania.
Yeah, you guys both passed the top level domain pretty quickly and didn't take a look at it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I believe the bank had a domain. So
Ah. I mean, if the thing is, in Albania, you usually just need to see a couple of words to see some of the specific letters that are only used in Albanian, and that blue van there had one of them. So at this point, I
okay,
was sure. And then it was just about finding the right park.
yeah. Now he will move up into Albania. I believe he was really close to Greece if he wasn't in
He was
Greece, but
close, but he was definitely still in Albania.
yeah. He put us on the coast. I don't think we're on the. Are we on the actual ocean or is it a lake?
We are.
Okay. He does believe he has found a park. And he's pretty close, but not quite for MTheBassman. But you are a little bit better. Neither one of you are getting exactly on, but you do beat him by quite the distance. 4992 for you, Calamity, and 4861 for MTheBassman. So you gain an extra 130 odd points there, going into the final round.
Just wondering, you can go into the final round if you want. I was just wondering about the town name actually, because that's not what I remember the town being called. I don't know if his language is different there. I don't know. I might be imagining things.
It might be that. I mean, is your Google Maps appears to be mostly in English, but
Yeah, Geoguessr did an update recently, a while back, where they made the map into English for everyone.
ah, okay. Because I do remember before seeing people's maps and they were in German or French or Spanish. Yeah, we'll get into round number 5. It's about a 500-point lead for Calamity.
Yeah.
And looks like Czech or no, actually Cyrillic too.
more weird languages.
Yeah, more languages that are mixed and get me confused. We seem to be in a very similar region as we just were, but probably a little bit further north.
Yeah, on there on those advertising signs, I saw Niksic, which is a town I recognized, but I just didn't know where from.
Yeah, and you and MTheBassman seem to have like opposite poles attached to you because you automatically go in the opposite directions every single time.
Yep.
So he is wandering through some suburban countryside while you are more in town. But he's seeing a lot of Cyrillic while you're seeing some Cyrillic now. But it's a good thing to see a mix of that. There are very few countries that mix both Latin and Cyrillic alphabet on plenty of signs. Bulgaria being one of them.
North Macedonia is another, and then there's one country, the one that we're in currently, that also does it. It just didn't come to mind. I was thinking about this for a long time, just thinking this language doesn't fit Croatia, doesn't fit like Slovakia, doesn't fit Slovenia, it doesn't fit Serbia, doesn't fit North Macedonia. But what is it then?
I'm struggling to think of the other one. Bulgaria. I think MTheBassman just moved us in there, but he didn't zoom out far enough for me to see it.
I think MTheBassman is still in. Is he still in Serbia? No, he's in the right country now.
Yeah. The minute I see the name, I'm gonna like just hit myself over the head because it's gonna be so obvious, but I just can't.
There's also this right here that says Crna. If you remember, I recently told you on stream which country. Oh well, there we go. Which country that is the official name of. So yeah, at this point I was pretty much still very confused. with a minute and a couple of seconds to go, while MTheBassman is finding a lot of decent signs. But I think, yep, there we go. Podgorica, which makes this a little bit easier. And there's Nikšić. There we go. But then I was still kind of like looking for Trebieża.
Montenegro, that's what it is.
That took you a while.
I had to pull up Google Maps. I was trying to do it without looking, and I was like, "What is it? It's right next to there. What is it called?" Nah, it's that little country.
Mm-hmm. If you'd actually kept watching the screens, you would have seen that MTheBassman immediately after finding Crnogora saw a bank that said Montenegro in big letters.
Well, just my luck. That eagle should also give it away on that billboard. Tends to be that region's favored symbol. But with only a few seconds left, I don't think either of you have really found too much. Oh, but you will maintain enough points not to lose your lead of 4,997. You do beat him 4,933 points. He actually moved his marker at the last second, I think, out of Nikšić. I don't know why he did that, but
I think he was in a bunch of different places a couple different times. I wasn't 100% paying attention to his marker all the time. But yeah, it was. Yeah. I don't think, at least I didn't see anything within the town apart from those two advertisements I've talked about at the start that said Nikšić on it, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, so maybe just headed a different direction, didn't quite see the information, knew he was in the country of Montenegro, but not exactly which city. And a couple of last second adjustments for him actually probably cost him, but either way, with you finding it, you didn't leave any room for him to make up any points. So you will take the win and close the gap to probably 2 points, unless he gets a bonus point for his score.
He doesn't.
Okay, he doesn't. So that means you will close the gap to 2 points. Definitely putting you in contention for taking one of those automatic playoff spots with only 2 more weeks to go.
Yep.
So, yeah, very nice. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, who are you two playing next week?
I'm going to be playing against Hugo Alvara, who's sitting somewhere around 5th, 6th, somewhere in that area. And MTheBassman is going to be playing against Redirect, who's also somewhere around there in the table.
Okay, very nice. So hopefully both of you will be looking to pick up some points and keep that tight race towards the top going into the last week after that. Thank you all for watching. It's been a really great match, a little bit back and forth in the start, but Calamity did pull out the win in the end. And we'll see you all next time. Take care.
Bye.